D for defiant, I can't go for that. Because we are not dealing with rumor, gossip, or internet interpretation. We are dealing with a federal court entered today. In my case, Judge Judith Levy in the Evans versus Robertson. And let me tell you something. This order did not go the way the defendant wanted. The motion to stay denied, not paused, not delayed, not we'll revisit later, denied. Now, here's where it gets interesting. For months now, the argument coming from the other side has basically been, I objected, I disagree, I appeal, I shouldn't have to comply. But Judge Levy just made something crystal clear today. A disagreement with a court order is not an excuse to disobey. That line matters because this case is no longer just about YouTube. It is no longer just about online commentary. It is now about compliance with federal court orders. And the court did not mince words tonight. Judge Levy specifically wrote that the prior orders requiring disclosure of defendant's legal name and postal address remain in full force and effect. Full force and effect. Then the court goes even further. The order states that Judge Levy twice ordered the defendant to disclose identity information and that the defendant defied both orders. Defied. That is the title tonight. D for defiance. I can't go for that.
Calm, low tone. Yeah, that line was heavy. When a federal judge writes, it is increasingly clear that the defendant has no intention to obey. That's not just commentary. That's the court putting on record that they believe she's deliberately and willfully defying the court. That's the kind of language they use right before contempt sanctions start getting real. She's not in the "we're still arguing about this" phase anymore. The court has moved past that. The fact that Judge Levy also said her opportunity to ask for a stay expired months ago and then refused to extend the show cause deadline, that's the court basically saying, we're not playing this game anymore. This isn't just a procedural ruling, Teddy. This is the judge signaling that her patience is wearing thin. That line is going to matter a lot.
Where does it stop? Where do you dare me to draw the line? You got the body, now you want my soul. Don't even think about it, say no go. Yeah, I'll do anything that you want me to. Yeah, do almost anything that you want me to. Yeah, but I can't go for that. No, can't do. I can't go for that. No, can't do. I can't go for that. No, can't do. I can't go for that. Can't go for that. Can't go for that. Can't go for that. I can go for being twice as nice. I can go for just repeating the same old lines. Use the body, now you want my soul. Ooh, forget about it, now say no go. Yeah, I'll do anything that you want me to. Yeah, do almost anything that you want me to. Yeah, but I can't
I can't go for that, so we're going to press pause just for a moment. Just for a moment. Because in the other case, there is an update. So Danielle Robertson signed the appeal. On the left is the handwritten signature that is on the document that she printed out, not the court document exactly. It's the document she must have had, maybe her original. Whether or not she had to print out the actual document that they sent, I'll show you what she signed. But on the left is the signature. I wanted you to see it in large. Now, on the right is Daniel Robertson's signature. That was the one signed on the cover letter in California. Another, what appears to be a handwritten signature. Just look at that for a moment. So the one on the left is dated May the 6th. You can see that here. Okay. That was the one sent. Okay. And court stamped there in Cincinnati. Okay. The one that was received today is off to your right here. Stamped 5/10/26. Okay. So this is document 4. This one that was sent was document 3-2. Okay. The signature was an electronic signature. So again, electronically signed off to the left, and she signed what appears to be a handwritten signature. I'm not here to analyze the signature. I am just here to show you that it was submitted today in what appears to be a handwritten signature. Yes, so she signed what she wanted to sign. Danielle Robertson. That's not her legal name. At least you're going to see a reference to what's not her legal name in my case. Aside from this case, all right, the name in my case, it's already been established multiple times, and in the filing today, you are going to see that Judge Levy wrote that Danielle Robertson is an alias name that she's using. So she signed, if we go with that, same person, same name. Danielle Robertson signed the appeal document as Danielle Robertson, not her legal name. At least that's what she told the court. So I said, it's either going to be, well, Friday's not here yet, right? So she plans to move forward with the appeal. So what do you think about that, Blade?
Legally, she can file the appeal using that name. For now. The appeal has already been docketed by the Sixth Circuit using Danielle Robertson, so the court accepted the filing. However, the fact that Judge Levy has already stated on record, in your case, that Danielle Robertson is an alias creates a problem for her. If the appeals court becomes aware that she's using a name that a district judge has officially called an alias, they may require her to either 1. Reveal her true legal name, or 2. File a proper motion to proceed anonymously. She's playing a risky game. She can file under that name, but she can't stay hidden forever if the court decides to press the issue. That's the reality of the situation.
All right. So we're going to go to my case. Let's just take this down for a minute. All right. So let's read this. United States District Court in the Eastern District of Michigan Southern Division. Sabrina Evans versus Danielle Robertson et al. Case number 2413435. Judith E. Levy, United States District Judge, Magistrate Judge Elizabeth A. Stafford. This is the order denying defendant's motion to stay ECF 153. Before the court is defendant Danielle Robertson's motion to stay ECF number 153. In this motion, defendant asks the court to stay enforcement of Magistrate Judge Elizabeth A. Stafford's March 3rd, 2026 order requiring defendant to show cause for March 24th, 2026, why defendant should not be held in contempt and sanctioned for her defiance of the undersigned orders to disclose her legal name and postal address, ECF number 144. Defendant interprets Judge Stafford's order as ordering defendant to disclose her identity and claims that requiring her to disclose her identity would create harm that is unique and irreversible. ECF number 153, page ID 3445. Let me go to the first superscript. It says, Danielle Robertson is apparently defendant's alias and not her true name. I continue. But defendant, in both her motion and her reply, misunderstands Judge Stafford's order to show cause. Judge Stafford's March 3rd, 2026 order did not order defendant to disclose her legal name and postal address. It ordered defendant to show cause why defendant should not be held in contempt and sanctioned for her repeated failure to follow the undersigned's orders. You want to jump in here, Blade, and just make a quick comment?
Yeah, that first part is actually pretty important. The judge is basically saying, you're misunderstanding what the order is asking for. I'm not telling you to reveal your name right now. I'm telling you to explain why you shouldn't be held in contempt for ignoring my previous orders to reveal your name. She's putting Danielle on notice that the contempt clock is still running. That's the key takeaway from that paragraph.
Other orders in this case required defendant to disclose her legal name and postal address, ECF numbers 118, 124, and they remain in full force and effect. As set forth in Judge Stafford's order to show cause, Judge Levy twice ordered Robertson to disclose her identity, and Robertson defied both orders, ECF number 118, ECF number 124. Although Robertson moved for reconsideration of the first order, Judge Levy struck that motion because it contained a fictitious citation, ECF number 121, ECF number 124. Robertson thus did not properly appeal Judge Levy's orders and instead chose not to comply. And there's another superscript. It's to defendant's reply brief ECF number 155, violates Eastern District of Michigan Local Rule 7.1 D3B as it exceeds 7 pages. As such, the court will not consider the reply brief beyond the first 7 pages. We continue. ECF number 144, page ID 3209 through 3210. As explained in Judge Stafford's order, a party's disagreement with a court's order is not an excuse to disobey it. At page ID 3212, defendant's motion to stay does not set forth a basis for a stay. It repeats her arguments that disclosing her legal name and postal address would violate the law. ECF number 153. And the relief requested a stay of enforcement of the identity disclosure requirement at page ID 3446 does not actually address Judge Stafford's order to show cause.
Here's a clean summary of what you just read. The judge is saying Danielle completely misunderstood or ignored what the show cause order was actually asking for. Judge Stafford didn't order her to reveal her identity in that specific filing. She ordered her to explain why she shouldn't be held in contempt for repeatedly refusing to obey previous court orders that did require her to disclose her real name and address. Instead of answering that question, Danielle just repeated her same arguments about why she doesn't want to give her name. The judge basically called her out for it, saying her motion didn't even address the actual issue she was supposed to respond to, and the court made two things very clear. Those earlier orders requiring her to disclose her identity are still fully in effect. Disagreeing with a court order is not a valid excuse to simply ignore it. That's the core of what Judge Levy just laid out.
Let's continue. And the relief requested a stay of enforcement of the identity disclosure requirement at page ID 3446 does not actually address Judge Stafford's order to show cause. Judge Stafford ordered defendant to show cause why she should not be held in contempt and sanctioned for her defiance of Judge Levy's order to disclose her legal name and postal address. ECF number 144, page ID 3215. I just went back to previous, just, to pick up where I left off. Defendant's opportunity to ask for an extension or a stay of the identity disclosure order expired months ago. In fact, the deadline for the defendant to reveal her identity has passed multiple times, and it is increasingly clear that defendant has no intention to obey it.
That's the most serious part of the whole order right there. When Judge Levy wrote, "It is increasingly clear that the defendant has no intention to obey it," that's a very strong statement coming from a federal judge. She's basically saying on the record that she believes Danielle is willfully and intentionally defying the court. She also pointed out that Danielle's chance to ask for more time or a stay ran out months ago. So this latest motion was too little, too late. The judge is signaling that she's losing patience and that the contempt issue is very much still alive. That paragraph is the one that carries the most weight in this.
Again, this is fair use commentary. This is for education. This is criticism. Blade has his criticism, and I have mine. Let's continue. Defendant's motion to stay is denied. ECF number 153. Additionally, the court notes that Eastern District of Michigan Local Rule 72.2 sets forth when an objection is filed to a magistrate judge's ruling on a non-dispositive motion, the ruling remains in full force and effect unless and until it is stayed by the magistrate judge or a district judge. As such, the court declines to extend Judge Stafford's deadline for a defendant to show cause. ECF number 144. It is so ordered, dated today, May the 11th, 2026, in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Judith E. Levy, United States District Judge. Okay.
Judge Levy just told her, in very plain language, that her opportunity to ask for a stay or extension expired months ago. When a district judge says that, it's usually a strong signal that she's tired of the delay tactics. While Danielle technically could try to file another motion asking for more time, Judge Levy has already signaled she's not inclined to grant it. The judge basically said, "You've had enough chances." As for Judge Stafford, she's the magistrate judge. She can't overrule Judge Levy's decision. Since Judge Levy, the district judge, already declined to extend the deadline, Stafford's hands are pretty much tied. Bottom line, the court has made its position clear. They're done giving her more time. The show cause deadline is still active.
So the last time, the order was for her, the defendant, to give her legal name and postal address by January the 5th. Subsequent to that, I filed a motion, and the judge granted that motion for show cause, and her response to the defendant is she didn't even respond to what the court asked. Show cause, why she shouldn't be held in contempt or sanctions be placed. Instead, she re-argued the same arguments. So now the court is expecting, well, her to respond with that information. But the court also made note that it doesn't appear that she is going to obey. So then what next?
Now it gets very simple. The court has officially put on record that it believes she has no intention of obeying the orders. So what's next is this. The show cause hearing is still active. She's expected to respond to it, but the court has already signaled they don't believe she's going to comply. If she continues to refuse, the next step is likely a contempt hearing and possible sanctions. That could include monetary fines or, in more extreme cases, other penalties for willfully disobeying a federal court order. The court has basically moved from, "We're asking you to do this," to, "We see that you're deliberately defying us." That's a very different stage of the case. That's where we are now.
So, in contempt territory or the process?
Straight answer, yes. She is now officially in contempt territory. Here's what's happening. The court has already found that she defied its orders multiple times. The judge has now put on record that it is increasingly clear she has no intention of obeying. The show cause order is still active, meaning she still has to explain to the court why she shouldn't be held in contempt. She's not just in trouble anymore, she's in the formal process that leads to a contempt finding. The only thing left is for the court to decide whether to actually hold her in contempt and what the punishment will be. So yes, she is deep in contempt territory right now. The court has made that very clear. If she refuses to pay a monetary sanction, here's what usually happens next. The court can escalate. They can issue what's called a civil contempt order. That means they can keep adding daily fines until she complies. Or in some cases, they can convert it to criminal contempt. At that point, it stops being just about money. It becomes a direct challenge to the court's authority. Federal judges don't usually take that lightly. Eventually, If she continues to willfully defy the court, they can issue a bench warrant for her arrest. That's the ultimate hammer. So the short answer is, if she doesn't pay, the consequences get much more serious than just owing money. That's the road she's heading down if she keeps refusing to comply.
But this is a civil case. Let's be clear about that point.
You're right. This is a civil case. Even in a civil case, when someone repeatedly and willfully disobeys court orders, the judge can still hold them in civil contempt. The purpose is usually to coerce compliance rather than punish. If she's found in civil contempt and still refuses to pay the sanctions or obey the orders, the court has options. They can increase the daily fines, or in extreme cases, they can refer the matter for criminal contempt proceedings. So while this started as a civil lawsuit, her repeated defiance of court orders can still lead to very serious consequences, even arrest, if the judge decides she's deliberately obstructing the court's authority. Does that make sense?
I don't know the law, and I think I'll have to do maybe just a little bit more, wait and see how the court is going to come down. I just know this is one of the hurdles in getting to the next step in my case. The court needs the defendant's legal name and postal address. That takes us to an hour. It's 10 o'clock. The court, again, is acknowledging this unresolved identity issue in this case. That's huge. And let's remember this all started because one side wanted to operate anonymously while allegedly attacking reputations, publicly filing complaints, publishing content, and then refusing to comply with disclosure orders. The court has sent a message. The court orders are not suggestions. You do not get infinite, did someone say bites at the apple? You do not get endless emergency motions, and you do not get to ignore orders simply because you disagree with them. That's what tonight was about.
She's choosing anonymity because she's convinced that her layers are strong enough that she'll never be identified. She genuinely believes she's untouchable. That confidence is exactly why she's been so defiant with the court. She doesn't think the court can actually force her to reveal who she is. The dangerous part is, she might be underestimating how far a federal judge is willing to go once they decide someone is deliberately defying them. She's betting everything on the belief that she can't be found. That's her whole strategy right now.
So I'm just wondering, who is this person? What is she protecting that she is willing to defy a federal court? Multiple times, the judge has said, and now thinks she's not going to obey. I'm only educating the audience because there are many people who really don't know the history here. So that's it for me. Yeah. Biggest bear hugs go out to the Grizzlies and the Honey Bears. Please hit the like on your way out and join me sometime tomorrow. Keep your bear phone on. Check the community wall. Thanks again to my moderators. But now it's time to say good night.